stormy, dreary, now it's sunny. So that fluctuation in weather also reflects the political weather in Pakistan, the fluctuations that have been taking place recently, of late. Ladies and gentlemen, we are talking of Pakistan in 2018, 70 years after our independence, when we are headed towards what's going to be probably the most important election in Pakistan's history in the last 30 years. And we feel that the important element is that the elections be held in a free, fair, transparent manner with a level playing field. In this context, we would also be getting in touch with you to invite international observers to observe the election process to ensure its transparency. And in the past also, we have had observers from different parts of the world, whom we would warmly welcome and facilitate. Ladies and gentlemen, excellencies, the father of the nation, Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah, when he talked of Pakistan's role, he gave an interview in January 1948 to Life magazine to an American journalist, Margaret Bourke-White. And she asked him, what is the future of Pakistan? What is Pakistan's role going to be? And you remember that time, it was a situation of conflict, influx and exodus of refugees. We were short of money. We hardly had a nation state. And the vision of the Quaid-e-Azam, the great leader, was very clear. And he said, and I quote, that interview can be found on Google in Life magazine as a cover story in January 1948, that Pakistan is the pivot of the world placed on the frontier where the future geopolitics of the world revolves. And today, and also in the last 50, 60 years, Pakistan has been a pivotal player in geopolitics. And today, thanks to CPEC, the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, we are the hub of connectivity in a continent which is a happening place in Asia. And the 21st century is the Asian century. And ladies and gentlemen, two recent developments in the last 48 hours in Asia give a lot of support to what we feel should be the future vision in the region. One is pertaining to the region, one is pertaining to our own situation at home. There has been the announcement that President Trump will be meeting Mr. Kim Jong-un on 12th of June in Singapore. This is a historic breakthrough. If there can be peace in Korea, why not peace in Kashmir? Because these are the two longest ceasefires lines in history. Kashmir is older than Korea. The second one is a stunning upset, and that is what democracy is all about. In Malaysia, Dr. Mahathir Mohamad, at the age of 92, has bounced back to become Prime Minister. And what is the message of that stunning upset, which has defeated all the pundits' prediction? If you have a track record of credibility, if you deliver, people remember that. If you are a victim of injustice and you go to the people, people stand by the oppressed, those who are the victims of injustice, because the entire Malaysian system, the courts, the accountability process, and the security apparatus, they were all against Dr. Mahathir Mohamad and Anwar Ibrahim. And the third element is that if you resist the wrongs, if you reject injustice, if you dare to defy, and you take your case to the people through the voting process, through the ballot box, will reverse the wrongs. And I think that's a very good lesson, because ultimately the decision is taken by the people, who are the supreme arbiter in any democracy. And that is what we hope and expect, inshallah, in July, when the elections are going to be held. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I was recently reading an article by two eminent economists in the news on 10th of May, Dr. Akmal Hussain and Dr. Malik. And they mentioned about development as transformation. And they said, people are the real wealth of nations. And they were quoting from the Human Development Report. And they said the focus should be on 3 areas: investing in people, education, schools, and health, and infrastructure. And this is what has been done in the province of the Punjab under the leadership of Mr. Shehbaz Sharif. The focus has been people-centric development. If there has been an increase of 500% in the education budget of the Punjab since 2010, if there has been an increase of 525% in the health budget of Punjab in the last 10 years, if 300,000 new teachers have been recruited, if 500,000 school-age girls are getting stipends, if 5,000 new doctors have been recruited, that is making a difference in the quality of lives of the people. And recently I was with the Chief Minister. We were traveling to different parts of Pakistan. We went to Chakwal, which is in northern Punjab. We went to Nankana Sahib, which is in central Punjab. We went to Laya, which is in southern Punjab. And we saw the transformation, especially in the district headquarters hospitals. State-of-the-art facilities where people can have their MRIs, CT scans, all kind of tests, medicines, mostly free, at their doorstep in their own districts. They don't have to come to Punjab. That is what is called a real revolutionary transformation. And we've also seen that the resonance of this message is there, not just in the province of the Punjab, but we see it outside. I was with Mr. Shehbaz Sharif when we went for a public meeting in Mardan, which is in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province. We went to Matiari, which is in the heart of Sindh province. We went to Karachi. The resonance is there. They're talking of the model which has been there in Punjab, and that has a resonance. And I'm reminded of Mr. Shehbaz Sharif's visit in July 2016 to China, when he met Jiang Gaoli, the executive vice premier, and he met Hu Xiaolin, the president, the chairperson of the Exim Bank. And they said with a lot of pride and pleasure that in China, when we talked of speedy delivery and good governance, we talked of the Shenzhen speed, because Shenzhen was where they built the first special economic zones. And Shenzhen became a role model for the rest of China. And they said to the Prime Minister, to the Chief Minister, maybe it's a Freudian slip of the Prime Minister, because he is going to be the future Prime Minister, inshallah. And so they said to the Chief Minister that now we say, when we talk of speedy execution of projects, it is the Punjab speed. And that's what the leadership is all about. Mr. Shehbaz Sharif, during his track record, has been a no-nonsense workaholic, believing in teamwork and homework. And I think 3 I's define his hallmark of leadership: innovation, initiatives, and infrastructure. So we feel that in order to build a better tomorrow, where people are at the center of development, we would like to present to you what has been done, what has been delivered, because we are not talking of promises, what to expect in the future. We are talking right now of what has been done and delivered, which you can see on the ground. And before I will ask Mr. Shehbaz Sharif to speak, we will now have a short documentary of about 7 or 7.5 minutes. So you can have a snapshot of the development of Punjab, which is multifaceted in different parts of human development. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for coming, and I'm sure it will be a very informative and instructive session. Thanks a lot.
delivery. In 4 short years, an unprecedented 5,500 megawatts added to the national grid. $269.5 million have been spent under the Khadam-e-Punjab Apna Rozgar scheme to provide dignified employment opportunities to Punjab's jobless citizens. An effective anti-terrorism strategy installation of over 8,000 CCTV cameras in Lahore under the Punjab Safe Cities project. Round-the-clock surveillance of 1,700 sensitive locations, ensuring a holistic response to disaster situations through police, PRU, Dolphin Force, Rescue 1122, and a strong fire brigade force.
In order to improve the quality of life for our brothers and sisters of religious minorities, the Punjab government serves as an emerging icon. The Sikh Marriage Act, passed unanimously by the Punjab Assembly in 2018, gives full legal status to Sikh marriages and makes Pakistan the first country in the world to have recognized the
We are providing basic facilities to over 52,000 government schools and free books to more than 12 million children. Scholarships worth $156.5 million have been provided to 300,000 deserving students. 3 million students from all over Punjab are being provided free education in 12,000 partner schools by the Punjab Education Foundation. Over 10,000 merit students from low-income families are being provided world-class education and boarding facilities at 14 Danish schools. Punjab's health budget has seen a mind-boggling increase from $522 million to $2,278 million. The new Pakistan Kidney and Liver Institute has been set up in Punjab at the cost $174 million. Upgrades and repairs have been completed on 170 hospitals in less than 57 months. 25 DHQs and 100 THQs have been upgraded at the cost of $78 million, establishing 25 new DHQ-level burn units, forming 110 new DHQ and THQ hepatitis clinics, installation of new CT scans and MRI machines, provision of 250 dialysis machines at 30 newly built THQ. instituting new management of the Ladhar, Manavan, Raiven and Sabzazar Tehsil headquarter hospitals on public-private partnership basis, funding $100 million nutrition program, medicine procurement from the best companies in the world, 24-hour high-quality medical and maternity service provision at 803 basic health units and 305 rural health units, $78 million expansion of the Tayyip Erdogan Hospital in Muzaffargarh. Mobile health units have been set up, $0.7 million. Revision of the Punjab Drug Act of 1976 to take firm action against producers of spurious medicines. Free medical service through issuing the Pakistan Health Card to over 5.4 million. In the last 10 years, 17 flyovers, 253 new bridges, 1,174 two-lane roadways, over 7,000 kilometers of new roads and repair of over 16,000 kilometers have been completed. A safer, faster, and more convenient journey will open up new paths and opportunities, and various transport projects are being pursued in Punjab. The Orange Line Metro train, nearing completion, will slash a 1.5-hour travel time by half, serving over 245,000 people every day.
And in achieving all of this, special care has been given to cost effectiveness and savings. The Punjab government has saved more than $6 billion on development projects through international standard and people-centric project management during its current tenure. Punjab's appetite for growth is insatiable. Its will is strong. And today,
agriculture is indispensable to Pakistan's economy. A first of its kind, $1,843 million. Khadim-e-Punjab Kisan package has been announced for the welfare of Punjab's farmers. $869 million in easy loans to help 600,000 farmers across the province. $339 million special subsidy on DAP, MOP, and SOP fertilizers to help 5.2 million farmers. The Punjab government has set up 150 new land record centers. Computerization of the rural land records of 36 districts of Punjab has been completed. Water provision is one of the primary focuses of the Punjab government. $209 million are being spent on reinitializing 1,574 inactive water schemes. Important steps have been taken for women empowerment in the province under the leadership of Chief Minister Mohammad Shehbaz Sharif. Legislation has been done against women harassment, reforming the law of inheritance to protect the right of inheritance for women, legislation against acid attacks on women, setting up of 16 family court complexes in the province, hiring and appointment of women to high organizational positions. Management of important government ministries and departments have been handed over to women. Vocational training to over 500,000 women in different programs. Our governance model is based on transparency. We have empowered institutions delivering efficient service. The pillars of governance underline
Thank you. And now, without much ado, I will ask the Chief Minister of the Punjab, who is a doer, who has delivered, as you can see from this documentary, because everything is on the ground. And one of the hallmark of his leadership has been that when we talk of Pakistan's success story in different areas, whether it's the success in CPAC, whether it's the success in the war against terrorism and extremism, whether it's the success in bringing law and order to Karachi, peace to Karachi, or even the nuclear program, the need for inter-institutional harmony. Let me ask the President of the Pakistan Muslim League, Nawaz, the Chief Minister of the Punjab, and inshallah, the future Prime Minister of Pakistan, Mr. Muhammad Nawaz Sharif, Shehbaz Sharif Saab, to address.
In the name of Allah Almighty, Honorable Atajan, Dean of Diplomatic Corps in Islamabad, and Ambassador of Turkmenistan, Honorable Sayyid Mushahid Hussain, Senator, Honorable Ministers, High Commissioners, Ambassadors, Heads of Missions, Charge d'Affaires, Heads of international organizations, federal and provincial government functionaries, honorable members from media houses, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum and a very good afternoon. At the outset, I'd like to thank you all for honoring us with your presence here. And it is really a personal pleasure and an honor to receive you and meet you here and have these very precious moments for a interactive session. And my opening gambit would follow Q&A. Let me say that as President of PMLN, and of course, elections just 3 months away, I think this was, and this is, a very opportune moment to have this event. And without going into any kind of long-winded details, I would like to touch very briefly about our past, and then of course, discuss what is the future today and how do we see Pakistan standing in time to come. As you all know very well, that Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah, the founder of Pakistan, he was a man with his very able team who carved out Pakistan from subcontinent back in 1947. So it's 70 years down the line. And people from all over subcontinent migrated to this part of the world, leaving everything behind, their houses, their assets, lands, jewelry, hoping for a better time and a dispensation where they would have justice and fair play, equity and opportunity, and judged not by creed or color, by merit and hard work. This was the essence of Pakistan's coming to being. And therefore, they divided India to have a united Pakistan. A Pakistan which is progressive, which is forward-looking, which is tolerant, and as you see from our flag, green indicates Muslim population and white non-Muslim, having equal rights under the Constitution of Pakistan. 60s, 50s, 60s have been wonderful years, decades of progress. And then we had a accident, we lost half of Pakistan. And then in 78, we were in the eye of storm. And there was a build-up. Pakistan was put forward as a frontline state, which ended with the era of Cold War. And then again, in 21st century, we were again frontline state to fight terrorism and extremism. In that, our brave and heroic armed forces fought bravely along with the people of Pakistan, and all stakeholders were on one page: politicians, parliament, armed forces, and they decided that it is now or never. The scourge, the menace of terrorism has to be dealt with holistically, and unless the last terrorist is defeated and killed, Pakistan will never be able to come to terms with peace. That was a goal which was fully supported by the entire length and breadth of Pakistan. And that is the reason, ladies and gentlemen, today if you see somebody limping, a target and victim of terrorism, today if some child has lost his mother or father, it's because of terrorist attack. Today if you see people injured and become totally out of action forever, that is the reason that he or she became victim of terrorism. So what I'm saying is, without going into any further details, that there cannot be a bigger manifestation of our commitment, our resolve, iron-clad resolve to fight this menace of terrorism. The roots, we all know. I've just mentioned about, very briefly, about our history. And there's no point in crying over spilled milk. And of course, our friends at that point in time, who are friends today as well today, they were the one, our partners, and we thought that this is a very holy war we have to fight. I think the jury is out, and time will tell whether this decision was correct or wrong. To me, I would say that we should have sought another option. But that's behind us. Today, it's a live challenge, and we have to meet this challenge holistically, which we are. And I want to tell my friend sitting here that Pakistan is a country which has suffered the most at the hands of these terrorists. Pakistan is a country which has paid highest human lives to fight this menace. Pakistan is a country which is home to the largest population of refugees for the longest period of time, feeding them over decades with our meager resources, of course, complemented by our friends and international donors. And imagine the kind of complexities it has resulted into over this period of time, feeding them, giving them jobs, having our own challenges of sorts. So what I'm saying is that ours is a country which has sustained all these huge, humongous challenges. And when compared to 2013, when our government, PMLN, took over with the vote of the people of Pakistan, all over the country, there were some kind of terrorist activity going on in the 4 nook and corner of Pakistan. Karachi city was bleeding, target killings, and terrorist activities. Electricity was not available, energy was deficit, industry had come to a grinding halt, our agriculture had gone pale, our exports dwindled, our foreign exchange reserves came to their lowest ebb, our economy suffered at least by 2 to 3% in terms of GDP growth, our youth unemployed, and common man going back home in the evening without any thing busy in his hands, wouldn't have this fan working. He would sweat during the night. Life was nightmarish. And today, ladies and gentlemen, after 5 years, I can say without any fear of contradiction that we have almost dealt with the biggest challenge of our country, and that is load shedding, to a very large extent. And this is by no means a small achievement. This, to me, is one of our the most shining hour to celebrate. In these 5 years, we have added 11,000 megawatts to the national grid through CPEC, China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. Power projects have been installed, and this is something, I mean, we will ever be grateful to our Chinese friends. Combined with that, 5,000 megawatts have been installed through our own resources. Federal government combined with Punjab government, billions of dollars. There isn't a second example in our history when investments involving billions of dollars could be covered through our meager resources. And I can tell you very frankly that this decision was a very difficult decision. Yet, the then Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif took this decision, and then we never looked back. So coupled with Chinese power plants, we raised 5,000 megawatt based on natural gas. And that's how today, in a short span of 4 years, Pakistan is back in the game. We are almost out of darkness. We are seeing the ray of hope, the light at the end of the tunnel. Our now industry is connected with electricity, our agriculture, our exports, our imports. Life is now back in this country. This is a great achievement, above all, not only through a very speedy implementation plan, but I would say the most transparent process of procurement. And this has happened in this country. And anything can happen anywhere, provided there is will to do. As compared to these procurements of 5,000 megawatts, similar projects installed 7, 8, 9 years ago were procured double the price than these projects have been procured and installed in a span of 8 years, 9 years. Half the price as compared to those installed 8, 9 years ago. I am not trying to raise my finger at all. I'm not trying to say that those were corrupt practices that this was very true. No, not at all. Please don't misconstrue me. As luck would have it, through our efforts, untiring efforts, and a very professional, transparent procedure, we were able to have these wonderful procurements, and that saved our exchequer billions of dollars. So what I'm saying is, wherever there's a will, there's a way. One could not imagine these $2-3 billion investment 5 years ago, 10 years ago. We would have gone to the World Bank, my friend Elango, or Asian Bank. Please provide us with loans and funds to finance these projects. This was our practice. This was our culture. This was our attitude. It's gone, thing of the past. Because if you want to do something for the good of the people, to serve the people, suffering humanity, provide them basic needs of life, then believe me, my very honorable diplomats, my friends, brothers and sisters, then all resources are available at your command. It's not a magic wand. It's your brains, it's your commitment, it's your hard work that convert things into action. And that's why I always say, this is something I coined in 1998. I was sitting in a meeting and it just struck my mind that resources always follow commitment, dedication, vision, and hard work. And it is not the other way around. It is not the other way around. Look at what Dubai has done. Sand dunes, they have converted into a gold mine. Vision, hard work, and of course, a wonderful leadership. Abu Dhabi, Saudi Arabia. What I'm saying is, and if you have gold, and if you have black gold and white gold, if you don't have the vision, if you don't have the commitment, and if you don't have the will to do, those will go all down the drain. And we have not one, dozens of such examples in contemporary history. So what I'm saying is, ladies and gentlemen, that you all have supported Pakistan at some point in time. I've just mentioned about China, which is a very dear and reliable friend of Pakistan. So has Britain, so has United States of America. Of course, we have our issues at times. There are certain issues which you bring on the table. There are different points of view. But essentially, these countries are our friends. And we have a history of this friendship for the last 70 years. And in Middle East, we have very reliable friends who have supported Pakistan all the way. In the Gulf, in Saudi Arabia. But my biggest concern is, and we have to address this concern, that till when we will go and take this begging bowl. At times we take this begging bowl, and today I'm being very frank with you. It's not what we call a diplomatic and formal ceremony where we have a written speech and then have our entree and then have coffee and then go home. No. We are here today, I would say as a family, diplomatic family sitting here, who are friends of Pakistan. And I want to tell you very frankly that my government and my party does not believe. Of course, we are eternally grateful to all of you, each one of you, who have supported Pakistan through thick and thin in terms of education loans, in terms of health loans, grants, whatever, over the period of time. That we can never be seen as being ungrateful or sound something not acknowledging that. We will always acknowledge that from the core of our heart till we go to our graves. But this practice must come to an end as far as Pakistan is concerned. If we have to look a dignified country, if we have to stand on our own feet, this begging bowl has to break one day soon. Of course, not through sermons or speeches or reciting stanzas, but through actually hard work, and hard work. And we have contemporary examples available to us from where we can learn a lesson and move forward. I can count 12 examples. Countries who were way behind Pakistan back in the 60s, they came here to emulate our model, went back to their country, used our model and our technique, and today they are touching the apex of glory. And at that point in time, they were actually had met ashes of defeat. And today they have touched the heights of glory. How? Through proper vision, proper understanding, and teamwork, and then working untiringly. In the last 4.5 years, it does occur to me and to my colleagues that this model, in a way, we had adopted, and it has worked wonderfully well. And today, we are able to show to the world that our economy, our GDP, has touched 5.8% this year, highest in the last 13 years. Our agriculture production has touched 3.8% growth, highest in the last 13 years. But we have our balance of payment problems. We have our trade deficit problems. And we have to sort it out, not through borrowing more loans. That should be the last thing we should be doing, because that will only kill us in the end of the day. We should be further broadening our tax base. We should be innovatively generating more resources, which is possible. We have shown to the world that in 2013, whatever tax we were getting today, it has doubled. And we can double it in the next 5 years. So instead of looking outward, we should be looking inward. We should be using all our best HR. We should be using our natural resources and explore them and use them and convert them into wealth and well-being of the people of Pakistan. Our latest survey tells us our population has touched 217 million people, am I right? 217. This is a huge bulge. And out of this youth bulge is a big challenge, because 60% of this population comprises of our youth from 13 to 30 years. And if we don't empower them through education, through jobs, through employment, this will become like an active lava, sweeping away everything on the way. Do we have that situation, or convert this challenge into an opportunity, as the Chinese say, that a challenge is also always an opportunity? Ladies and gentlemen, it is, to me, of course, 217 million people. It's a blessing in disguise, because if we empower our youth through technical education, through proper education, through empowering them, providing them with jobs, that will compensate us for not having oil and gas in this country. And I'm telling you, this is possible because the world has shown this. There are many examples in South Asia, in Europe, in other places of the world. So I think this is what we need to do, to hone the outstanding capacities and capabilities of our youth. And that can only happen through quality education, through technical skills. Give them in those areas which are relevant inside Pakistan and in the Middle East and in the Gulf. And they will then earn their wages twice as much as they do today, because they're not skilled today. And this will double our remittance to Pakistan. It will then lower our demand for foreign loans. It will have space to do our development not through borrowed money, but through our own earnings. That is the vision we have for the future of Pakistan. Because we have dealt with we have dealt severe blow to our enemies, i.e. terrorists. Of course, they're still there, but this is a constant battle. We have dealt severe blow to our enemy, energy deficit. Now we have to move forward with a sense of purpose and achievement. And that's what we've done in the last 4.5 years. And ladies and gentlemen, when you saw this figure right on the screen, that Punjab saved 6 points, how much was that? $6 billion. This is not a fairy tale. This is something palpable, tangible. And I'll give you only 2 examples to establish what we're saying. But of course, it has not happened in the past. That is true. But something which has not happened in the past because lack of capacity or will or commitment, can't that happen again in the future? And that's what we have done today. This $6 billion saving comprises of 2 compartments. One, direct cost reduction from the lowest bidder through a very transparent process of procurement. And 2, recovering lost assets of the government of Punjab to thugs and thieves and gangsters like land, mines, and so on and so forth. This put together has, in the last 9.5 years, we have saved $6 billion net. And that is what? If it is a direct saving, money available for more education, for more help, for more hospitals, medicine, CT scans, MRIs, empowerment for female population, for more sustainable enrollment. That is what we have been doing in in these many years. And there, World Bank has been our great partner. Different British government have been our wonderful partner, and other stakeholders. And it's a story to tell to the world that this is all possible. Whether it's missing facilities, whether it's Punjab Education Endowment Fund, whether it's classrooms, toilets, teachers. We have hired in Punjab in the last, in these years, more than 200,000 teachers. Ladies and gentlemen, 100% on merit. 100% on merit. Even I cannot interfere in the process. Punjab Education Endowment Fund has doled out stipends to the most outstanding students coming for poorest of the poor background. Orphans, double orphans. Their parents, either they had left this world, if mother or father was living, couldn't even afford a meal a day, let alone medicine and education. And this fund has become like an umbrella. It's not even in India, I can challenge, not in South Asia. It is the largest education fund in South Asia. It has doled out by now, in the last 9 years, $1.7 billion. No, I'm sorry. $170 million as stipends to 350,000 boys and girls. And there are only 2 conditions. One, she or he has to be intelligent, and B, coming from a very poor background. And today, in these 9 years, thousands have become doctors. Thousands have become teachers. They are doing PhDs. They have become wonderful bread earners, sharing the burden of their families instead of becoming a burden on the society. It is a paradigm shift. And this we did from our own resources. So what I'm saying is, the paucity of funds is not an issue. Issue is will to do. And by the grace of God, we have demonstrated that will to do. We have, this nation is a wonderful nation. It only requires proper leadership. This nation can do wonders, as I've explained to you in 2-3 cases. Similarly, I can tell you, in our school enrollment, we have touched, and this is not me, it's third-party audits, international audits. They have absolutely established that our school enrollment, primary school enrollment, has exceeded touching 95%, which is again a wonderful achievement. It's not enough, it's a long way to go, but we are taking steps in that direction. Another example I want to tell you, that you saw this CT scan in one of the hospitals. We have now installed CT scans in every district hospital of Punjab. Some of them are already under operation. Some will be in operation in the next few months. And what is the model, ladies and gentlemen? I want to share this with you. And it's not a rocket science. Something probably we must have borrowed from you. Public-private partnership, as we call it. That we invited beds, procured these machines purely on transparent and professional manner, and awarded the contract to company A. I think my Japanese friend, ambassador sitting here, Hitachi in this case, and they are running the machines. Previously, government of Punjab or Sindh or KPK or Balochistan or federal government would buy these machines, install in this hospital, and see in 3-4 months machine getting kaput, out of order, for a variety of reasons. I am not casting aspersion again, but of course at times collusion, so that the machine working outside by an investor is minting money at the cost of that suffering humanity. Now what we have done is, we have given this contract to that manufacturer. He has installed these machines. He will operate, or she will operate these machines 24 hours. The patient will have CT scan, and the government of Punjab will foot the bill. And then many other such innovative, simple, innovative measures. But then it was not possible through a hackneyed and corroded system. It had to happen through some modern tools, some modern gadgetries. The world has already experienced, and we have learned from them, and we are learning from them. Public-private partnership, outsourcing, building capacities, and making them responsible under a third-party validation arrangement. And this has started working. All these power plants are again installed by companies under federal government and under Punjab government. So it's a wonderful story to tell, not speaking for myself, speaking for the deserving people of this country, our children, our daughters, our mothers who need milk, who need food, education, justice, fair play. And if we have shown in this 4.5 years that this is doable, I guarantee you, ladies and gentlemen, we will do it 10 times over if we get proper opportunity in terms of, hopefully we are having elections in 3 months' time, free and fair elections. People must exercise their vote freely, with freedom. And I have no doubts about the fact that that vote will throw up a leadership in this country which will be certainly not only dedicated to serve the people, but to be held to account by the people. That is what this country is all about. That is the vision and dream of Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah, the founder of Pakistan, and the poet Iqbal. Before taking up my seat and inviting you for Q&A, with, of course, sense of concern in my mind, I'd like to share, which I recite this stanza quite often, and that is, when life becomes tough, as it sometimes will, when life becomes tough, as it sometimes will, when the road you are trudging is all uphill. أخي الكريم فهم يعني هذا الطريق يعني إذا مشكلة في مشكلة تعرف كيف؟ When life becomes tough, أخي الكريم تفهم؟ When life becomes tough, as it sometimes will, and when the road you are trudging is all uphill, and when the credits are low, not these credits are foreign exchange reserves, they are of course okay, but they are lower than 6 months ago. But we are talking about the credit of the health of a nation in various segments, challenges. When the credits are low and debts are high, when credits are low and debts are high, rest if you must, but don't you quit. This is what the message, eternal message, I have learned, and that's what Iqbal says through his poetry, wonderful poetry. And in Tehran, Iqbal is known as Iqbal Lahori. In Ankara, Iqbal is known as Iqbal Lahori. He has millions of followers all around the globe. We also recite his stanzas, and the world also recite the stanzas. They implement, but we recite and then we sit down, have coffee and sleep. This will not work. So I think it's been, I think, a while I've been speaking, and I know that you have craving for some questions also. So I think the rest of the session we'll have there. But I want to tell you that once again, I'd like to thank you very much. Thank you from the core of my heart for all your support as friendly countries. And people of Pakistan are indebted to all of you, especially that aid or support, which is free of political strings or conditionalities. That is something which is highly respected by every Pakistani from Karachi to Peshawar. And that has helped Pakistan to remain dignified and to remain alert. But this must come to an end. And one day soon, it will. It'll probably take 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. It's all up to us. It'll not happen overnight. It's a slogan that we will finish it overnight. It'll not happen overnight. It'll take time because we have to work hard. We have to, throw our blood and sweat and inspire the nation through honest leadership and encourage the people, provide them with their basic needs of life, provide justice, socio-economic justice, and then we'll see this nation touching stars. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Pakistan Zindabad.
Thank you very much. I think Mr. Shehbaz Sharif is in great form on this Saturday afternoon, and he has given us plenty of food for thought. And while the food will also be served now, I'll now request the Dean of the Diplomatic Corps, His Excellency Atha Jan, that you kindly conduct the question-answer session from your diplomatic colleagues. Thank you, Mr. Shehbaz Sharif, for giving your insights on the matter. Thank you.
Thank you. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, as a Dean of Diplomatic Corps, on behalf of Diplomatic Corps, I want to thank His Excellency Mr. Shehbaz Sharif for inviting us and organizing this interactive meeting. And I want to thank him for sharing the information about achievements and accomplishments of Punjab province and the future prospects of the province. As we know, the Punjab province is the most populated province of Pakistan, and its economy is a locomotive of Pakistan economy, and it is very important. Developments of this project are important for the whole Pakistan, and also not only Pakistan, but for neighboring countries, regional countries, and the world at all. So I think the developments in this province important for all of us. And I invite you all for question and answer session. Please, if you have questions, it will be good if you, who has question can stand, introduce himself and ask one question, but it will be good, better to be short. Thank you very much.
Please help yourself, Ikhwan. تفضل تفضل يا أخي الكريم تفضل. السفراء من البلاد الإسلامية طبعا أنتم أخ سفير لكن ضيوف لكن والله إخوان أنتم. من هذا كلام من الكلبي والله العظيم نحن إخوان ويعني كلبي يعني هذا هو.
Okay. May I ask you a question?
Yes, please.
Please.
Thank you. Ambassador of the Russian Federation.
Как дела? Хорошо?
Спасибо.
Очень хорошо.
Спасибо. First of all, I will be closer to Mike. Thank you very much for your very interesting and I should say very inspiring address. Thank you for inviting us as well here. My question is, in case your party wins the elections, of course, it's all in the hands of the Pakistani people, what will be the external political priorities of your future government? Can you just speak about it in more detail, please? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Спасибо. Очень хорошо. Our external policy will be based on peace and progress, first in the region, economic coordination, so that the nations in the region benefit from available opportunities. And we have wasted such opportunities in the past, to be very honest. And I'm being very frank. I know our friend Indian High Commission sitting here, we were not the one to detonate the bombs first. It was India, and perforce we had to do it in our own interest to secure our defense. So it wasn't aggressive action, it was a defensive action. But that has happened. And in this day and age, you cannot lead nations through security-led vision. In this day and age, you have to lead nation through economic-led vision, to empower your people, alleviate poverties on both sides, and coordination with other neighboring countries in South Asia, freeing South Asia from these tensions. I think that is, in a nutshell, what we would believe to be our foreign policy, our geopolitical strategy. And with the extended world, we have a very good relation, for example, with your country. Mr. Ambassador, Pakistan is renewing our relation with Russia, and it's a very good opportunity. We're very happy about it. There was a time when barter used to take place between Pakistan and Russia, and for decades. And I think we are able to rejuvenate our relation would be a very good thing, for both the countries. We have very good relation with United States, we have with UK, with Germany, France, Italy, European countries. I think wonderful relations. We simply need to further augment those and enhance our trade. Our commercial interests should go up. And today Pakistan is in a position to first attract investment from Pakistanis in Pakistan. In the second stage, investments from our diaspora in Middle East, in Europe, North America, Far East. And then, of course, foreign investment. At the moment, the biggest chunk of foreign investment is coming from China under CPEC. And the Belt and Road is a wonderful initiative of President Xi Jinping. It's not about a power plant or a road or a metro. It's about communities and cultures. It's about countries and continents. It's about railways and pipelines. It's about good of the humanity. And I honestly feel that we should all participate in this program, which will have connectivity all around. So, Ambassador, this is how I'd like to answer your question.
Mr. Chief Minister, Neil Boone from the United Nations. I just wanted to thank on behalf of the UN family, you and your government, for all the support that has been provided, creating an enabling environment for our work in your project. But just maybe a couple questions. Senator Mushahed had mentioned in his introduction human development. And you also mentioned in your opening remarks a fair amount about the needs of youth. And it would be interesting to maybe hear a bit more from that, because we've just produced a national human development report which highlights some very encouraging things about young people in Pakistan, that 89 out of 100 of them generally feel happy. At the same time, it points out that 57 of those 100 people would be unemployed and not seeking jobs. 29 of them would have no education. Now, this is not Punjab, this is across the country. So it'd be interesting from our work for the future to hear a bit more about your vision on youth development. And I'll also make sure you can get the report as well.
I think you have addressed the most burning question. And that's what I said in my speech, that our youth bulge can either sweep us away, or we will be able to become a very going society. It's all up to us. So we have to, our main focus after the next election, whichever party is put into the service of the people by public mandate, the first and foremost plan has to be how to provide productive jobs. This is what I've been telling Elango all along in the last many years. But I said, World Bank, if they really want to help us, please give us models and resources to train our youth and make them productive hands of this nation. And you see, then we really take off. So I totally agree with you. And this is our most serious challenge. So together we'll work on this issue one day soon. And in Punjab, as how many 1.5 million jobs we produce in Punjab, all productive. If you employ them in government sectors, this is the biggest burden on any society. It all goes down the drain. You have to empower them and give them jobs where they produce and they generate wealth. Yeah.
Chief Minister, I'm the Ambassador of Argentina, and thank you for a very comprehensive presentation on the record of your administration. I would like to know if you could expand a bit about your vision concerning rural development. The rural population is the largest in Pakistan, and also farming activities are the largest employer in Pakistan. So I would like you to expand a bit on what you see in this regard in the future of Pakistan. Thank you.
Very good question, Excellency. And you have rightly said Pakistan even today is an agrarian economy. And 65% of our population still resides in rural areas. Punjab is the largest province. And unless we have proper basic infrastructure in rural areas, our lifestyle will not go up. Our agri-production will not go up. Quality controls will not be there, and so on and so forth. So, therefore, in the last 5 years, period ending 30th of May this year, we would have spent $1 billion, the biggest ticket item in history of Punjab, rather history of Pakistan, that we have spent building farm to market roads, which were totally in a dilapidated condition. You couldn't even walk on those roads, let alone drive your cart laden with fresh fruit and mangoes and cherries and blackberry. Today we have built this beautiful roads. The lifestyle has changed, overnight. Plus we have in rural areas, we have built schools, medical facilities, which are operational, absolutely functional, through static health facilities and also imported mobile hospitals. Imported, because in the backwater of Punjab, sand dunes, where there's no access, people can't come to these BHUs and RHCs, rural health centers or basic health centers. So we have imported these very expensive mobile hospitals, and they are working over there and trying to serve the suffering humanity. And thirdly, Excellency, for the first time in Pakistan's history, under the watch of PMLN government, we have provided interest-free loans to small farmer. And believe me, he was not believing in this. He said, well, who am I to be respected by the institution of this country? I'm nobody. So, small farmer has been empowered. They have been given interest-free loans. Recovery rate is 99.9%, and they are revolving their small loans, and their production is going up. And lately, for the first time in Pakistan's history, and only in our last year of our tenure, we undertook a very innovative program called Saaf Dehat, Clean Villages. Villages would always be very clean, but a decade ago or decade and a half ago. Today, these villages have filth depots now. Sewage is flowing through open drains. And lots of other problems, creating huge environmental problem. So last year, we brought a new program called Saaf Dehat. In other words, clean villages. And we launched this program, and in the first go, all villages of Punjab were cleaned. The waste was collected by trucks and bulldozers and tractors and moved away. Now this has become now a permanent feature of local government. And every year, funds will be provided in this direction, and this will have huge impact on the life of the common man in rural centers. And finally, again through World Bank's good offices, Land Record Information System, LRIMS, with a ticket item of $150 million, we have installed this project in Punjab, in the rural areas, and this has made the life of the common peasant very, very comfortable. Otherwise, previously, if he had to get the title deed of his land ownership, he would have to grease the palm of that revenue officer. He will have to wait a week or 2 weeks to get a copy, and lots of other problems. It was not a bankable property. Today, with World Bank's full support, this is the only program here in Pakistan, and probably one of the best in South Asia, that we have now covered 55 million households in rural Punjab, where 55 million rural population have access to automatic copies of land deeds, transfer deeds, and so on and so forth. No corruption, and this has become bankable document. They can raise loans, etc. So what I'm saying is that they can now move towards corporate farming. So I think these little steps have been taken, but I think it's a long way to go.
Thank you very much. Dear friends, just one my humble or kind request. Please, he who asks a question, first stand, introduce yourself, and then you can sit and continue, because it is need not only for us, but for cameramen also, for them rather difficult to find who is speaking. Yes, it will be very good. Please, the floor, Ambassador of Italy. Thank you.
I'm sure they'd find me even if I was sitting, but that's me. So, yeah.
Why don't you come over there?
You're tempting me, and I'm very vain, sir. But I think that's your place rather than mine. Thank you very much for this very welcome gathering. And I have a question, actually, and a short question to be in line with what the boss has asked for, the boss being the dean. It's actually a question on CPEC against the rest of the economy. I mean, you yourself have referred a couple of times to CPEC, 3 times, 4 times. And I agree that CPEC is a game changer in this country. But I also see that the rest of the economy is going very well, pretty well. More can be done. I see Lango is nodding, so I think he agrees. So actually at times it seems as if CPEC, which is, as I say, a game changer, is kind of an overall umbrella, which is also at times seems to be an alibi for policymakers in this country not to take care of other parts of non-CPEC related parts of the economy. So I'd like your thoughts on this.
Excellency, I apologize if I've not been able to explain myself clearly during my opening gambit. When I refer to CPEC, it's a project, of course, and it has connectivity. It is offshoot of Belt and Road. I've explained that. But importance of CPEC was so vital back in 2014-15 that if it had not been there, let's be very honest, and I'm being very frank, if it had not been there, today the scourge of load shedding, which was damaging our economy and our lifestyle immensely, wouldn't have been handled. So I think we have to see in this perspective. That is not to say, Excellency, as I said in my speech more than once, that we are not welcoming or we are not grateful to the support, whether it's investments or grants and loans from United States, Europe, and Far East and Japan. I've mentioned in my speech. And this is all supplementary and complementary. But since CPEC has a huge ticket item, so obviously any society which has received, it's an investment, no doubt. It is an investment like investment from Italy, investment from any other country, any friendly country, from Middle East, from UAE, from Saudi Arabia, etc. But I'm being very honest. At that point in time, we badly needed these investments. Not very many investors were ready. So, and we're all friends. You are from European Union. And Italy has historical business relation with Pakistan. I vouch for the statement myself, because back in 60s and 70s and 80s, my family had imported textile equipment from Italy and tractors from Italy, Italian investments here. We acknowledge it with deep sense of gratitude, Excellency. But when we say and talk about CPEC, it doesn't mean that others are, God forbid, not welcome. Not only welcome, but more than welcome. And it will create connectivity. For example, under CPEC, there has to be a lot of subcontracting, huge subcontracting, because labor in China is expensive, and labor in Pakistan is still comparatively very cheap. So if we manufacture some of those items, I mean, in a wider scope, not exactly CPEC, non-CPEC items, China and India has $80 billion worth bilateral trade. And if CPEC has led to all these activities, so if we have subcontracting, we can request Pakistani diaspora living in Britain, in Italy, Italian companies, British companies, please come and join hands. So it will be a three-way, or many players will be there benefiting. So I think we should see it from a much broader perspective, Excellency. Thank you very much.
Excellency.
Excellency, how are you? Yeah.
I am the High Commissioner of Mauritius. Thank you very much, Excellency. We congratulate you for your outstanding expose. Thank you for inviting us. My question is based on the functioning of institutions in the Islamic Republic of Pakistan. What is your assessment of the institutions, how they are functioning today? My question is related to the forthcoming general election that this country will be undergoing very soon. As per press report, as per Peace Institute reports, 2013 has been the most violent election that this country has underwent. What is your assessment of the forthcoming election 2018? Thank you, Excellency.
Yes, Excellency, thank you very much. I've said already in my speech that we are just 3 months away from general elections, and obviously a free choice to the people of Pakistan and freedom of their choice will result in transforming this democracy into a much more a stronger democracy and a stronger system of delivery, and people will be able to serve the people with a sense of confidence. So that's paramount, of paramount importance, and there are no two opinions about it. Our polity will get strengthened, and democracy will have very wonderful transformation. So we hope and we expect, and there's no reason not to believe that all state institutions will work for this noble cause. 2013 elections, yes, I agree with you. They were violent because terrorism was at its high point, and unfortunately, those areas where it was rampant, they did suffer at the hands of fear of terrorism, and people could not listen to their leaders, their programs properly. Hopefully, this menace has dropped down at this point in time considerably, although it's still there off and on. We had in Quetta the other day, and other places, but its impact has gone down drastically, and I've said that the armed forces, provincial police departments, counter-terrorism departments in the provinces. I am responsible for Punjab. We have state-of-the-art counter-terrorism department, work very closely with federal law enforcing agencies, and things have improved a lot. And friendly countries have helped us hugely in this respect. I will not name them, they're sitting here, but obviously it requires that I respect their sensitivity. And similarly, the program of de-radicalization has to go hand in hand, in tandem. It's very important, because if we're able to finish these nutties and gangsters through the barrel of the gun, their germs will not be killed or buried forever unless we kill them through barrel of education, health, jobs, and awareness. So this is a bigger challenge than just killing them physically. So I think this is a dovetailed program and national action plan here in Islamabad under the federal government, having linkages with the provinces. And I think this is going on, but I can tell you there's room for further improvements. But I hope and I pray to God, with support of our friendly countries and great sacrifices from the people of Pakistan, we will be getting rid of this menace for all times to come.
Ambassador of China.
Okay, I'm the Chinese ambassador, and I want to raise a few comments following your discussion with my colleague from Italy regarding CPAC. And I would like to have Chief Minister that you take your soup. I just a few comments, no question. First of all, thank you a lot for the very impressive briefing, and I'm quite impressed with the achievements as well as your speech just now for the development of Punjab and for the achievement. Second, I think I totally agree with your understanding and the conducting of the CPAC cooperation. Also that I think that from the Chinese side, as well as from the Pakistani side, we made it very clear, CPAC is just an option. I think that for Pakistan, an able leader or that delivering government, that the most ideal outcome from the CPAC should be, I think, like, for example, whatever resources you are in need, then you can take it from China or any other partners. And you can, but more importantly is that your vision, your plan for your development. So I was very much, I should say, happy that to see that when you are planning the development of the province of Punjab, that you are not taking only the infrastructure, you are paying more attention or equally attention to the education, to the health, to the social development. So that is I think, finally, CPAC could be a part of your future development, just a part of that, instead of your development. I hope that this is also, and of course, CPAC is not exclusive. I think that I will more than happy to see more and more international partners from Europe, from Americas, from all over the world for Pakistan, because that development of Pakistan is very crucial that for the region as well as for the world. So this is just a few comments, and let me once again appreciate the very kind presentation today, Chief Minister.
Taking clue from this, statement from our Chinese brother, friend, ambassador, let me explain you, Excellency. For example, education. Now, DFID is our largest partner, not only in Punjab, it's in Pakistan. And for the first time in the last 9-10 years, I can say, without any fear of contradiction, that this partnership has produced huge dividends. Now, it may not be in terms of value, and it's not anywhere near, not a patch on what CPAC in terms of cents and dollars, but in terms of honing human capacities and providing education, knowledge, probably the value is infinite. And this program with DFID, it goes into skills development, Punjab Skills Development Company. It goes into primary education, enrollment, missing facilities, Punjab Education Endowment Fund. You cannot put any amount of cost on that because it is infinite. It is timeless, believe me. And if your youth becomes empowered, they are going to produce goods worth billions of dollars. So I think this cooperation friendship has its own perspective in different contexts. So I think in the end of the day, we're all working with each other as friends and great partners. For example, now on this gas-based power project, 3 projects have come from GE, one of the world's largest power manufacturers, the turbines, GE, United States of America, and this runs into billions of dollars. Now, although it is financial, the funding comes from Pakistan, but then we have another level of cooperation with the United States of America. And these 3 plants, which are now installed and under operation, are, they are showcases for the world to see their efficiency, their generation, and modern technology scale. Similarly, the 4th plant has been awarded to a German company, Siemens. It's one of the largest gas plant in Pakistan, again. So German-Pakistan cooperation has further strengthened. So it's not, we must not view this only that a country is giving us loans or grants. I am the last person, believe me, in all humility. We are not a rich country. We are a developing country, rather a poor country. But still, I maintain vehemently that a day should dawn before I go to my grave that we stand on our own feet. So this cooperation has to be dignified. And I will be most happy that this cooperation comes in terms of expertise, in terms of technical knowledge, support, and so on and so forth, which ultimately empowers our youth, alleviates our problems, production, employment, and so on and so forth. Yes, please.
The Nigerian High
Please be seated.
Yeah. Your Excellency, let me first of all appreciate you for inviting us and for giving us what we call stewardship of your activity in the last few years.
Thank you.
From what we saw, one has no doubt that the Chief Minister has achieved a lot when we want to talk about achievements. Is it in the area of infrastructure development, education, health sector, and human capital development? For those of us who have been privileged to be at Lahore, we physically saw what we are seeing on the video this morning. And I want to appreciate the Chief Minister for your giant stride in taking Punjab province to a greater height. Having said that, the African group ambassadors have the privilege of having what Pakistan called Look African Trade Forum, a way of improving the bilateral trade relationship between Pakistan and Africa. We have had about 3 or 4 seminars in this area with a view to improving the bilateral trade relations and investments between Pakistan and the African countries. I want to appeal or hope that this seminar, which emanated from what we call Emerging Pakistan, which took place in Karachi last year in November, will continue towards improving trade investments towards African countries, and in particular, Nigeria, where I come from. Thank you, Your Excellency.
Very much, Excellency. I just wanted to give you another manifestation of this cooperation. Now about more than 1 million, more than 1 million Pakistanis are employed in UAE. They are great hosts. We can't thank them enough. I mean, imagine if 1 million Pakistanis were to, God forbid, come back to Pakistan to find jobs. Could we find them jobs overnight? So this is a brilliant manifestation of cooperation. And there is no ticket item. It is again infinite support from them. Similarly, Saudi Arabia, more than 1.5 million Pakistanis are pardon me? 2.5 are working in Saudi Arabia. Similarly, Kuwait and other countries. We can't thank, and Qatar, we can't thank them enough. So this is a kind of a CPAC, in fact. CPAC ultimately is what? It's about well-being of a society, jobs, production, etc. So this is a UAE CPAC, this is a Saudi CPAC, this is a Qatari CPAC, and this is a Kuwaiti CPAC. In other words, it's see and pack. You know, it's you see and work and pack and enjoy life.
Your Excellency, it's Ambassador of Tajikistan. First of all, I would like to express my thanks to you for your kind invitation to all our colleagues to meet with you today, despite your all busy schedule as being Chief Minister, also President of Millennium. I also would like to share my small views. Documentary which you now have seen, it doesn't cover all the work done by you also. In situation which we had before, maybe a few ambassadors, I mean my colleagues who are here, they remember of 2013 what situation was, and now achievement we have. My question is, during the tenure of His Excellency Prime Minister Mohammad Nawaz Sharif, we started a number of mega projects with Central Asia, like CASA 1000, TAPI, connectivity projects through via Afghanistan and via CPAC goes to our countries. What will be your position regarding the further implementation of this project and regarding the achievement we have done? Thank you very much.
I think these are wonderful projects. Pakistan is, I think, signal to this CASA project. और एक और कौन सा जहाँ से CASA की TAPI. That's right. So I think these are again projects of great connectivity, linking countries in those areas and having huge economic benefits to the population of those areas on the way. So I think this is exactly, now this is again another kind of a CPAC. So I think this, to me, this is all about economic well-being of a nation, of a society. And if a country like Pakistan, which is a developing country, we had lots of experiences in the past, we had lots of setbacks, we must now learn our lessons and move forward with speed and lightning speed, because we are racing against time. And that is exactly what I mean when I explain all these wonderful initiatives. Whether it is a small project coming from Italy or from Argentina, or a large project from United States of America or Middle East, or Islamic countries, or the European Union, this is all helping the mankind, making it happy, healthier, and enjoying life. Because it can't be that our country is destined to remain poor always. That is not Allah had willed for Pakistan. That was not the reason why Pakistan was carved out of India. That is not the reason why millions of people laid their lives for Pakistan. Their their souls will be taking turn in the grave if we did not change the course of history. And we are meant to change the course of history through your cooperation, through joint efforts, through team efforts, inshallah.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Ambassador of Kenya.
Thank you very much. Also, I want to join my colleagues in thanking you, Chief Minister, for invitation and for lunch, and for the good work you have done in Punjab.
Thank you.
I just have one question. If you are elected Prime Minister, what will be your main priority areas that will spur the economic growth to over 10% in the next 5 years? What are the 3 or 4 priority areas that you are going to focus on as the Prime Minister?
Thank you very much. I'll just sum it up, Excellency, that we must impart skill training to our youth so that they become good producers and quality producers, A. B, we must go for large-scale industrial investments, export-oriented, so that we're able to earn more dollars and pounds and Deutschmarks, and then they're not, in currency these days, euros, and bridge the gap between our imports and exports, and improve our balance of trade. 3, which will help in building our reserves. 4, which will, we have to really make our agriculture, grow on modern lines. Already in Punjab, we are doing that. World Bank, again, is a very big partner to reform our agriculture. Punjab provides 70% of agriculture produce to Pakistan. So I think it's extremely important. As I speak, hundreds of millions of dollars worth program, World Bank program, is being directed towards improving agri practices in Punjab to enhance per acre yield, protect the crop from pest attack, and farm to market, very good market. Ultimately, a stock exchange where you can trade your agri produce. So I think these 4 areas are extremely important, so that if we don't catch minimum 7% by the middle of next term or the third part of next term, then we will not have enough, spare enough to build our economy. Because if our population growth is 2.5%, Harun? 2.4, and if our average GDP growth is 5%, we are just left with 2.5%. It's not enough. We must have 7 to 8%. It is difficult but not impossible, and we will do it. We shall do it, inshallah, with your support.
Excellency, Zarda Shams, Charge Affairs of Afghanistan. Let me first of all congratulate you on the developments made under your leadership in Punjab. Every time we visit Lahore, so it's different, it's been transformed. I'll stick to the point that our brother Shahid Hussain repeatedly said about the post-election scenario. So, Excellency, if you become next Prime Minister, the Pakistan relation with Afghanistan during past 5 years, no major considerable improvement was unfortunately made, and that could help reduction of violence in Afghanistan. So if in case your government again wins the elections, how do you see your relations with Afghanistan and any role of bringing down violence and the reconciliation process in Afghanistan? Thank you so much.
Excellency, Afghanistan, like brotherly country Iran, we share borders running thousands of kilometers. We share a rich history, culture, and we had the honor of hosting at one point in time 4 million Afghan refugees. So I think we are interconnected in more than one ways. Therefore, without going into the past, I must say in all earnest that peace in Afghanistan means peace in Pakistan, and vice versa. Happiness, progress in Afghanistan means, because we are neighbors, we share a very long border and history. So a bomb exploded in Kabul, a person killed in Kabul is killing of mankind, and we are as sorrowful as somebody killed, God forbid, in Lahore, Karachi, or Peshawar, or Quetta. So we fully support peace process in Afghanistan. What is good for Afghanistan has to be good for Pakistan, and vice versa. We fully support that you should take complete ownership of this peace process, and Pakistan has always and must become a serious facilitator in whatever way, whatever worth we are. Because if there is no peace in the region, we cannot progress. CPEC can't help us. Britain can't help us. We ourselves won't help our own self because there is no peace. So peace and tranquility in the area guarantees progress and prosperity in the area. So this is how I think, in a crisp manner, I'd like to explain to your question. Wie geht's?
Ja, danke, gut.
Sehr gut.
Ja, sehr gut.
Haben Sie Ihr Mittagessen haben?
Wir haben gut gegessen, vielen Dank.
Der Fische gut?
Ja,
der Fische?
alles bestens.
Gut. Und Gemüse?
Auch.
Sehr gut.
Well, Ambassador of Austria, thank you very much, Chief Minister, for this opportunity to share with you some thoughts, and thank you very much for your presentation. We have talked a lot about the economy. There is one word that I have not heard in your presentation and nobody has mentioned so far. This is art and culture. You live in Lahore, which is considered to be the cultural capital of this country. You have a number of UNESCO World Heritage areas. You have a literature festival. You had a biennale recently for the first time. What importance do you give to this sector, and what would be your initiatives in this area?
Thank you very much, Excellency. Art and culture question, I'd left to your beautiful ambassador, lady ambassador, to put this question up today. Absolutely. Lahore is as you know, is a very ancient city. It has a history of thousands of years, and luckily, in the last many years, through international support, bilateral donors, friendly countries, we have been able to restore that architect and historical buildings downtown in a way which was not observed in the last many decades. So Lahore is not only it has restored its lungs, it has also restored its culture and art. Greater Iqbal Park is another manifestation of our commitment to convey our younger generation the lessons of history, how Pakistan came to being, how their forefathers walked hundreds of miles from east of the border to this part of the country, losing on the way their near and dear ones, meeting tragedies on the way. So all this has been restored and archived. I would like to invite you to come to Lahore, and we will show you all this. I'm sure you will be very happy to go to these wonderful places. Thank you.
Commissioner of Australia.
Thank you very much indeed, Chief Minister, and of course I associate also my thanks for this initiative. It's been a delicious lunch and moreover a very extensive conversation. I think that we are taking good opportunity bouncing from your presentation. And just to continue the theme of the upcoming elections and your own priorities, you've mentioned agriculture, of course, as a key part of Punjab's economy and indeed the national economy. It's definitely an area where we bilaterally work a lot with Pakistan both in terms of a development partnership, a research partnership, and also increasingly on a commercial level. But of course, agriculture is intertwined with water, sir. And water increasingly is being recognized globally as an emerging security challenge for all of us. My nation is also a water-stressed country, so is Pakistan. So I wonder, sir, if you would like to make some remarks, and on that note, I'd like to congratulate Pakistan on its new national water policy and how you see the implementation of that policy going forward in this federal country. And secondly, also, sir, of course, for sustainability in terms of water and agriculture, one also comes very quickly to the issue of population pressure. And you have yourself referred to the spectacular growth rate of the population at this current point in time. Would you, sir, as Prime Minister of Pakistan, be actively implementing population policy to help actually bring down that spectacular growth of population and empower women in that regard as well? Thank you.
Yes, both are very important questions, High Commissioner. Population is a big challenge, and if we didn't control our population, issue in a fashion which is acceptable to the society, this will otherwise implode. And we have a very good example in Bangladesh. They've done it pretty well. In Malaysia, they've done it well. So I think this will be one of our top agenda item. As I said, otherwise, if we did not do 8% annually, our growth above 7%, then we are left with nothing to build and feed. So I think this is extremely important, and we'll have to find innovative ways and means acceptable to our society, its culture. I think we have this plan to take it up immediately after elections. Water is a very, very important point, and we read about, God forbid, water wars in times to come, water shortage in Africa and other countries, and climate change. So this is a very, very important matter to address, and conservation of water through innovative measures to use water, and of course wastewater, its treatment, and then make it reusable. This is a very interesting agenda. Of course, it requires a very large financial layout, but if you plan it, and graduate it in the next 5 years, I think this would be very feasible, particularly those areas of Pakistan and Punjab, which are industrial zones, where toxic water from industries are not treated by the industry or the government. It is creating havoc with our climate and our environment. So I think this is extremely important, and I can assure you that we are very, very cognizant of this important matter, and if we are given opportunity, we will give full importance to this part of our agenda. Having said that, we would also like to raise this issue in terms of being low riparian. India is our neighboring country. We have this issue with them, and everything has to be solved on the table. And this is not the day or the age where one can show muscles. That time is gone. I think India is a nuclear power. We are a nuclear power. We want to use this opportunity to remain peaceful, to remain good neighborly countries, and not repeat mistakes of the past, learn from our mistakes, and use resources to alleviate poverty, unemployment, disease, and production, and health and education. I think I have no doubts India would also be thinking on those lines. So I think there's we should be on the same page. So whether it's water issue or Kashmir. Kashmir today is bleeding, unfortunately, and atrocities are being committed against innocent population over there, and voices are being maimed, women and children and innocent boys are killed. You see their funeral ceremonies day in and day out. This is very indigenous, and I think like what happened in Ireland, East Timor, I think it's high time. And Pakistan has always adhered to the instruments of United Nations, always accepted its legal framework, followed it in letter and spirit. We would be, I think, life would be very comfortable in this part of the world, that these issues are addressed, and world is able to assist both these neighborly countries to overcome this peacefully through talks, because there is no other option. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm the ambassador of the Republic of Tunisia. Thank you, Mr. Minister, for this very informative gathering. And it is the second time that we meet you, and we wish you all success, inshallah. I would like to come back to this human development. I come from a country which believed in human development from its independence. Education, women emancipation, and health. And I see that you had made a lot at the provincial level. If you are elected in the next elections, is this policy would be generated to all Pakistan? Would it be reflected in the budget? Would you invest more money on education, on women emancipation, and on also health for everybody? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Akhil Kareem. And women empowerment has been, very, very near to our hearts. It has been a cornerstone policy of the government of Punjab. And I can just a couple of examples that the first center of violence against women came into being in Punjab in 70 years. It is now functional in a city by the name of Multan, south of Punjab, where you have 7 in 1. You have FIRs lodged against crime committed against females. You have medical facility over there. You have a court over there to take up petitions. You have a police station over there. You have female skill development center over there, and basic, understanding for becoming productive hands. So this first female violence against women center has been launched in Punjab, and many more are going to follow. 1. 2, all government departmental boards have been mandated to induct at least 33% members, female members on the boards. 3, interest-free loans for unemployed youth. 60% of these loans go to unemployed females in Punjab. So far, loans worth $400 million have been disbursed, and again recovery rate is more than 99%. And as I speak, 2 million individuals have benefited from this loan in Punjab, both male and female, 60% female. That means 2 million multiplied by 6, because an average household would be comprising of 6 individuals. That would mean about 12 million individuals have benefited directly or indirectly through these interest-free loans. And preference given to those females who have some kind of basic skill training, because they can go and produce more and earn more. So I think, Excellency, these are some of the programs I've just mentioned, but and again, in these land record information system, जहाँ से वो क्या है जो 50% ownership दिखा वो क्या चीज़ है 50% जो female की ownership है उसमें. Yes, these title deeds carry also the name of the spouse, the wife, in that title deed. So that again leads to huge empowerment of female in Punjab. But I must say, it's a long way to go. But we have started taking fast steps in that direction. Shukran jazeelan.
I just like to mention that to the Ambassador of Tunisia and other friends, that with Tunisia we have a very long-standing relationship. The father of modern Tunisia, Habib Bourguiba, got support from Pakistan during the war of independence of your country, and he used to travel on a Pakistan diplomatic passport when he was fighting for liberation. And I think we have a very strong relationship with Tunisia. Thank you. And when we are finished with the... And also...
Algerian, yes.
Yes. With all the Maghreb countries we have this. And when Algeria also, Farhat Abbas, when he was the Prime Minister of the National Guard, he was also getting a diplomatic passport. And Houari Boumediene was a very dear friend of Pakistan. So with Maghreb countries, especially Tunisia and Algeria, we have an old relationship. And when we are finished with the tea, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to request you all to come outside for a group photograph together outside in the lawn with the Honorable Chief Minister. Please take your time in finishing your tea. And we have time for a couple of other questions. Any last questions? We've already had only 1 hour of quick Q&A, but we can continue.
He says that it has been 1 hour Q&A so far, and it's still continuing. So thank you for grilling me.
Friendly grilling. Any other questions from the eminent ambassadors or high commissioners or diplomatic
High Commissioner,
representatives?
British High Commissioner.
Well, I guess it's not it's a comment rather than a question. So first of all, thank you for your kind words about what DFID has been doing. DFID has been doing actually around Pakistan. And I think DFID is doing it for the reasons that everyone around this table are friends of this country. We all wish this country well. And I think we also see a really important 2 or 3 months coming up in this country. The challenges you talked about, the long-term challenges, you can see a scenario of a Pakistan which is absolutely booming in 20 years' time, or you can see a scenario of Pakistan which is in a certain amount of difficulty in 20 years' time. And I think all the things that have been discussed today around human developments, around climate change, around water, around population, around education, these are all the things in the end which are going to determine the future of Pakistan in 20 years' time. And I think, therefore, I'd simply say that I'm encouraged that those have been the topics discussed around the table today. And if those are the topics which actually determine the results of the election from whichever party, then Pakistan will be a better place in 20 years' time. Thank you.
Our Swedish ambassador is sitting here. And again, Sweden has been extremely kind to support us, of course, in their own, oil investments. There have been investment as old as 40 years in Pakistan. But lately, Swedish government has supported Pakistan and Punjab how to improve our road traffic. And that has been, again, a mini CPAC from Sweden, really. Thank you very much. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, in the end, let me... oh, yeah, please. Elango, yes.
Thank you, Honorable Chief Minister.
I just want to remind you that you have made a commitment that you will support us further, a few millions of youth to be trained by the World Bank's program.
Absolutely, we'll keep our commitment.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chief Minister. This has been a very engaging conversation and appreciate your leadership of it. Like the National Water Policy, which emerged through lots of consultation and eventually all the provinces signed off on it with the federal government. Similarly, your vision of an 8% growth requires an economic charter. I hope post-elections, all major political parties would sign off onto an economic charter which will put Pakistan on the path to a higher growth trajectory. As the British High Commissioner just said, over the next 20-30 years, Pakistan has to grow at that level to be able to support its growing population and become a higher middle income country in 20 to 30 years from now. This is an observation or a question.
Wonderful observation, and I must say, this is what, well, I keep on saying, but this is what Mr. Imran Khan should be saying, Mr. Zardari should be saying, Mr. Nawaz Sharif should be saying, Asfaniyar Wali should be saying, Maulana Fazlur Rahman should be saying, MQM should be saying, and so on and so forth, that let's agree on an economic road map. Let that be a permanent feature of this country's well-being. Parties come and go. This program will not be changed by any party. This will become something very, very, important and an unchangeable document for all times to come. If our political leadership agrees on this, believe me, then sky is the limit. Thank you very much for reminding it.
Thank you. And I think on this very positive note of uniting for a better tomorrow through a charter of economy and also, I would say, education, energy, environment, and extremism, we can really build a better tomorrow with no overlords and no underdogs. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. It's been quite a scintillating performance by Mr. Shehbaz Sharif, and I hand over the mic to you before we all invite you to come outside for a group photograph.
Thank you very much. It has been extremely a learning curve for me. When I walk out of this room after this wonderful, interaction Q&A, I'll be a very informed person than before through these very wonderful, very well made out questions by all of you. Thank you very much, and that shows your commitment and support for Pakistan. We deeply appreciate these sentiments, and we believe this global community can really make a difference around the globe, particularly in those countries which are developing societies, economies, where there is a will to improve things and do better for the poorer lot. I want to assure you that Pakistan, no matter who is, which party is in the government, will always be looking forward to working with our global community And I know we have wonderful ambassadors and high commissioners stationed here in Islamabad who are always there to assist and handhold Pakistan. Thank you for your support, and thank you for your good intentions for Pakistan and your good words for Pakistan. You can see for yourself things have improved as of last year, as of year before last, and so on and so forth. And I have no doubts with this trajectory and keeping ourselves in this direction, one day soon we would have beaten this menace of terrorism for all times to come. Before I conclude, I'd like to say one stanza from Iqbal's poetry. I'll try as best as possible to translate it. This is very, very heartwarming, inspiring. Iqbal says, Iqbal, the philosopher, the poet of the East and read in the West. Jahan-e-Taza, he says, Jahan-e-Taza ki hai, afkar-e-Taza se namood, ke sang o khich se hote nahi jahan paida. Iqbal says, ke people, new societies, new world, new communities are linked, are produced through innovative ideas, through vision, through hard work, through honesty of purpose, through transparency, through honest dialogue, through implementation, untiring efforts, blood and sweat, and not otherwise. He says, Jahan-e-Taza ki hai, afkar-e-Taza se namood, ke sango khich se hote nahi jahan paida. He says new societies cannot be built through most expensive tiles, white marble or green marble. Green marble, white marble may be very aesthetically pleasant to your eyes and make a majestic palace or a house or a building or an office, but it does not convert into a strong and a vibrant society. Vibrant society can only be built through innovation, through modern ideas, modern techniques, modern tools and innovation, not through conservative thinking, through old and hackneyed terms. If I say now, if modern societies were to be built through green and white marble, Pakistan, Islamabad, Lahore, Karachi and Quetta and Peshawar would have been the most going society in the world. But this is not the case. Societies are only built through hard work, innovation, vision and honesty of purpose and not otherwise. I thank you all. Thank you very much for your time. I'm extremely honored. This will be a memorable sitting and event for all time to come, and I'll cherish this for the rest of my life. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your time and patience. Please step outside the hall for a group photograph with the Honorable Chief Minister.